Trade war truce, a sigh of relief. The US and China have agreed to a truce in their trade war. This is a big deal. The two economic superpowers have been locked in a bitter battle for years. Tariffs on billions of dollars worth of goods have been imposed. Businesses and consumers have felt the pain. This new agreement offers some relief. It's a step in the right direction, but it's not a complete solution. The deal is temporary. It's a chance for the two sides to continue negotiating. The goal is a long-term solution that benefits both countries. This truce is a positive sign. It shows that both sides are willing to talk. They are looking for common ground. The world is watching closely. A successful outcome would be good news for everyone. Tariff cuts, a step back from the brink. The agreement includes significant tariff reductions, marking a pivotal moment in the ongoing trade negotiations between the two economic giants. Both sides have agreed to roll back some of the tariffs imposed during the trade war, which had escalated tensions and disrupted global supply chains. The US will reduce tariffs on $115 billion worth of Chinese goods, including electronics, clothing, and machinery. In return, China will reciprocate by lowering tariffs on a range of US products, such as agricultural goods, automobiles, and medical equipment. This is a major concession from both sides, reflecting a mutual desire to ease tensions and foster a more stable economic relationship. It shows that they are serious about finding a solution to the trade disputes that have affected businesses and consumers worldwide. The tariff cuts will provide some much-needed relief for businesses and consumers who have been bearing the brunt of increased costs. They will help to reduce prices on everyday goods, making them more affordable, and are expected to boost economic growth by encouraging trade and investment. However, it's important to note that the tariff cuts are not a complete rollback. Many tariffs remain in place, reflecting the complex nature of the trade relationship. The US will still have tariffs in place on a significant amount of Chinese goods, particularly in sectors deemed critical for national security and economic competitiveness. Similarly, China will also maintain some tariffs on US products, especially those that are seen as strategically important for its own economic development. The effective tariff rate for the US will be 30%, which is a significant reduction but still higher than pre-trade war levels, while China's will be 10%, reflecting a more cautious approach to tariff reductions. Economists believe that while this agreement is a positive step, it is just the beginning of a long journey towards a more balanced and fair trade relationship between the two nations. Future negotiations will be crucial in addressing deeper issues such as intellectual property rights, market access, and technology transfer. For now, the world watches closely, hopeful that this step back from the brink will lead to a more stable and prosperous global economy. The clock is ticking, 90 days to a deal. The tariff truce is set to last for 90 days. This is a critical period. During this time, the US and China will continue to negotiate. They will try to reach a comprehensive trade deal. The 90-day timeline is ambitious. There are still many complex issues to resolve. These include intellectual property rights, forced technology transfer, and market access. The two sides have very different positions on these issues. The negotiations will be tough, but both sides have a strong incentive to succeed. A failure to reach a deal would be damaging for both economies. It would also create uncertainty and instability in the global economy. Section 4. The Road to Geneva, a Trade War Timeline. The US-China trade war has been a long and winding road, filled with numerous twists and turns that have kept the world on edge. It began in 2018 when the Trump administration imposed tariffs on Chinese goods, marking the start of a significant shift in international trade policies. The stated goal was to reduce the US trade deficit with China and protect American jobs, particularly in the manufacturing sector, which had been struggling for years. In response, China retaliated with tariffs of its own, targeting American goods and escalating the conflict. This sparked a tit-for-tat escalation that has continued for years, with each side imposing increasingly severe measures. The two sides have imposed tariffs on billions of dollars worth of goods, affecting a wide range of industries from technology to agriculture. This has hurt businesses and consumers on both sides of the Pacific, leading to higher prices and reduced profits. The trade war has also had a negative impact on the global economy, contributing to slower growth and increased uncertainty. It has created uncertainty and volatility in financial markets. with stock prices fluctuating wildly in response to the latest developments. It has also disrupted global supply chains, causing delays and increasing costs for businesses around the world. The truce reached in Geneva is a welcome development, offering a glimmer of hope for a resolution to the conflict. But it is just the latest chapter in a long and complex saga, with many challenges still to be addressed and no clear end in sight. Section 5, Global Impact, a win for the world economy. The US-China trade truce has been met with cautious optimism around the world. This agreement, although temporary, has provided a much-needed respite from the escalating tensions that have characterized the trade relationship between these two economic giants. Businesses and investors alike are hopeful that this truce will pave the way for more stable and predictable trade policies in the future. The International Monetary Fund, or IMF, has welcomed the agreement. The organization has long been an advocate for free trade and open markets, and it sees this truce as a step in the right direction. The IMF believes that reducing trade barriers can lead to more efficient global markets and increased economic growth. It has called it a positive step for the global economy. Economists around the world are analyzing the potential impacts of this truce, and many agree that it could help to stabilize markets and reduce the uncertainty that has been plaguing global trade for the past few years. The IMF has warned that the trade war has been a drag on global growth. The tariffs imposed by both the US and China have disrupted supply chains, increased costs for businesses, and ultimately slowed down economic activity. This has had a ripple effect, impacting not just the two countries involved, but economies around the world. It has estimated that the tariffs have cost the global economy hundreds of billions of dollars. These costs have been borne by businesses and consumers alike, leading to higher prices for goods and services and reduced economic growth. The hope is that this truce will help to reverse some of these negative impacts. The truce could help to boost global growth by reducing uncertainty and boosting trade. When businesses have a clear understanding of trade policies, they are more likely to invest in new projects, hire more workers, and expand their operations. This can lead to increased economic activity and growth. However, it is important to note that the truce is just a temporary measure. While it provides a short-term solution, the underlying issues that led to the trade war in the first place have not been fully resolved. This means that there is still a risk of future conflicts and disruptions. The underlying trade tensions between the US and China remain unresolved. Both countries have deep-seated issues related to trade practices, intellectual property rights, and market access that need to be addressed. Until these issues are resolved, the risk of renewed tensions remains high. A failure to reach a comprehensive trade deal could lead to a renewed escalation of the trade war. This would not only impact the US and China, but could also have far-reaching consequences for the global economy. Increased tariffs and trade barriers could lead to higher prices, reduced economic growth, and increased uncertainty for businesses and consumers around the world. This would be bad news for the global economy. The hope is that this truce will provide a foundation for more comprehensive and lasting agreements that can help to stabilize global trade and promote economic growth. However, much work remains to be done to achieve this goal. Section 6. The Art of the Deal. What's next? The next 90 days will be critical. The US and China will need to work hard to resolve their differences. They will need to find common ground on a range of complex issues. The negotiations will be difficult, but both sides have a strong incentive to succeed. A trade deal would be a major achievement. It would boost the global economy and reduce tensions between the two superpowers. However, a failure to reach a deal is also a real possibility. This would be a negative outcome for both countries and for the world. It would lead to continued uncertainty and instability. Section 7. Stay informed. The trade war isn't over. The US-China trade truce is a positive development, but it is just the beginning of a long process. The next few months will be critical. The outcome of the negotiations will have a major impact on the global economy. It is important to stay informed about the latest developments in the US-China trade talks. There are many resources available to help you do this. You can follow the news, read analysis from experts, and track the progress of the negotiations online. The trade war is far from over, but the truce offers a glimmer of hope. It is a chance for the US and China to find a way forward. The world is watching.